शामिल किए, आज बता रहे हैं महिलाओं के बारे में आंसू बह रहे हैं। उसी तरह ओबीसी समाज के लिए किस तरह अपमान किया ये बीआरएस ने आज सदन में
प्लीज माननीय प्रफुल्ल पटेल जी नॉट प्रेजेंट। माननीय श्री महेश जेठमलानी, माननीय महेश जेठमलानी प्लीज।
श्री प्रफुल्ल Patel.
Sir, I've just been asked to speak.
Okay, okay. Get going, get going.
So, how much time do I have, sir, may I ask?
How much time do you need?
15 to 20 minutes.
How much time do you need?
15 to 20 minutes, sir.
All right, you get 5 minutes. Go ahead.
So I should have pitched my case higher. Honorable Chairman, with your kind permission, I rise to wholeheartedly support this most significant and path-breaking constitutional amendment, the 128th Amendment Bill 2023, also known as the Nari, Shakti, Vandan, Adhiniyam. So, our first experience with women's representation in a legislature was in the Constituent Assembly. 15 women members represented us in the Constituent Assembly. Out of them, 10 spoke. And all 10 of them did not pitch for reservation. They did not pitch for reservation, and they said that we want women's representation based on merit. So Hansa Mehta's speech summarizes the expectation of women members. We have never asked for privileges of reserved seats, quotas, or separate electorates. What we have asked for is social justice, economic justice, and political justice. So all members who spoke reposed great faith that men who have fought and struggled for the country's freedom would guarantee the rights and liberties of women. Now, sir, what is the experience up till 2014 when the NDA government first came to power? So a quick look, because questions have been asked, why not 2014? Questions have been asked, why are you unfolding your social welfare program over here? But, sir, a quick look at the objects, only to remind them of their promises in the Constituent Assembly, the hopes of the women in that Constituent Assembly, and the faith they reposed in the men of the future that rule this country. I read paragraph 2 only to remind them of what in their long tenure, including the 10 years of UPA government, they did not do. Government has taken a number of steps to bring Nari Shakti to the forefront through women's empowerment and women-led development, resulting in substantial improvement in financial independence of women and availability of equal access to education and health. Government has also emphasized ease of living, especially for women, through various initiatives, including Ujjwala Yojana, access to toilets under Swachh Bharat Mission, financial inclusion through the Mudra Yojana, etc. However, the empowerment of women will require greater participation of women in the decision-making process as they bring different perspectives and enrich the quality of legislative debates and decision-making. So had they done their job in their tenure, the first 5 years was spent in empowering women through financial inclusion, social justice, and dignity. It did not strike them at all. The shame of open defecation did not strike them at all. It is us who did it in the first tenure. So the next question that is raised is, can this be implemented before 2024? So it can't. That's a given. Unless certain things have to be ignored. Every time there is reservation, and we are now talking about women's reservation, 3 procedures have to be followed. The latest census figures, B, readjustment of boundaries by a delimitation commission, and C, identification and notification of constituencies for the purpose of reservation, in this case women's reservation, by the Election Commission. Now it is possible that even if we could omit the first 2 steps by using the census of 1971, that is the census that prevails today as per the Constitution, that we go for boundaries, territorial boundaries of constituencies as per the census of 1971. In 1971, there were 55 crore people. Today, there are 1.4 billion people. So, you will have to go by a census which is dated. You have twice the number of seats if you do a fresh census today. Secondly, the procedure of identifying reserved constituencies for women cannot be completed by February, March 2024 because there is a procedure involved. And consider if you want to avoid this procedure. The Election Commission has to follow a particular procedure. First of all, it publishes its proposal. This is even if you want to give up. You want to go by the present census, not wait for the next census. If you want delimitation to be dispensed with by the Delimitation Commission, you still have to go through an Election Commission identification process of reservation seats. Now that requires a procedure. The procedure is, first, publish proposals for constituencies to be reserved for women in the Gazette of India and the official Gazette of the state concerned. Secondly, specify a date on which such proposals will be further considered. And third, consider all objections which may have been received by it. What? I am not yielding, and why are you talking? Sir.
Carry on. Carry on.
Sir, consider all objections. Consider all objections which may have been received by it, that is the Election Commission, before the date specified for its consideration, and hold one or more public sittings at such place or places in each state as it thinks fit. This is a mandatory procedure, and it accords to transparency, it accords to justice, it accords to the views of all stakeholders. The Commission also sits as a court when it identifies constituencies for reservation. It sits as a court and can take evidence on oath for determination of reserved constituencies. This procedure is meant to guarantee fairness, transparency, and natural justice to all stakeholders. No member of either house would want to do away with this procedure before constituencies reserved for women are identified. The alternative is to leave it to the arbitrary diktat of the Election Commission with the inevitable discontentment and heartburn it will cause you people. Members who insist on implementation for the 2024 Lok Sabha election have, with respect, not understood the inbuilt safeguards of the reservation procedure, and a demand for haste will only be at your own peril. Now, is it possible before 2029 and at the earliest after 2024? Yes. On the other hand, the scheduled 2021 census was postponed due to COVID. It is supposed to commence in the beginning of 2024. There is now digitalization. Of the census procedure. The census can be completed expeditiously and possibly within 2024 itself. Thereafter, the next two steps of delimitation by the Delimitation Commission pursuant to the census and identification of reserved constituencies for women can be completed by 2025. By 2026, reservation for women in state elections can be a reality, and consequently even so more for the 2029 Lok Sabha elections. I am afraid you people do not know the procedure that is required for identification. And please do not mix up. Please do not mix up OBC.
Please conclude now. Please conclude.
Sir, I will conclude, sir. In short, sir.
Nick, conclude on a pleasant note.
Yes. Sir, this is a bill. One of my young friends, Kartikeya Sharma, honorable member of this House, said that this is a bill whose time is due. I say that this is a bill whose time is overdue. I wholeheartedly support this bill.
Honorable Finance Minister, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman.